There's plenty of weapons in the Monster Hunter series, from faster weapons like dual blades to slower and more methodical ones like the greatsword. Amongst all of them, my personal favorite is the humble sword and shield. An old weapon that exists in the franchise since its inception, and is also the default one that the player gets in most entries. It used to be rather meager in terms of strength in the first iteration of the game, but in World, it has received many boons from the developers. Here's a list of advantages that this weapon has. The first one is how fast it is at sheathing. It might not seem a lot, but being able to sheath quickly means that you not only get to reposition quicker than other weapons, but also able to make use of Superman dives better than many weapons in-game, since it can only be done when your weapons are sheathed. The second advantage of this weapon is that you're capable of using your items without having to sheath said weapon. This is a pretty nice advantage to have if you really need to pop a max potion or maybe even put down traps to get an opening against a monster. I don't recommend doing this with potions, however, as without speed eating, it takes quite some time to drink a single one, and if you drink with your weapon out, you move very slowly. Third is that you are great at surviving. Here's the thing. In this game, many heavy weapons tend to not be able to reposition that well and tend to be limited in terms of mobility. For example, let's take a look at the lance. It has the most robust shield in the game, but you don't get to roll at all. At most you get hop, and while other heavier weapons like switch axe or charge blade can roll, you still do hops after an attack. Being a light weapon, sword and shield gets to roll, yet unlike any other, you do have, like the name implies, a shield. The shield is rather poor at blocking, but when faced against certain opponents, it's better to reel from blocking than it is to take unmitigated damage. Besides the ability to block hits, sword and shield also has decent movement speed when unsheathed, which further adds to your survivability. Fourth advantage is that the weapon is convenient and forgiving. What I mean by convenience is that this weapon does not need ammunition, files, charges, or anything. You are always at maximum power, and you don't need any maintenance save for sharpness. The speed of this weapon's swings combined with its excellent mobility allows you to backtrack from mistakes a lot better than slower weapons, which is why I consider it forgiving. Fifth advantage is how versatile it is. You want to KO a monster? There's the shield bash and falling bash combo. Cut tails? It's sword and shield. The sword part somewhat implies it being capable of doing this. Mounting, even without slanted terrain or cliffs, it can deal mounting damage through its scaling slash and extend the duration of its mounting finishes to keep monsters still for your teammates. Raw damage. Iceborne added perfect rush, which when timed right, you can do absurd amounts of damage. And to top it all off, the sword and shield is great at support due to it being able to utilize items so well. Overall, the weapon is what you make it out to be. It doesn't excel at any particular role, but it is adequate in many. Still, it's not all sunshine and rainbows with the weapon. First weakness is the length. To me, it's a lot easier to reach higher targets with longer weapons like the charge blade or longsword, since their vertical strikes don't involve a lot of movement, unlike the sword and shield's leaping slash or advancing slash. Besides that, I think the most fatal weakness of this weapon is the existence of guard slash. Seeing vids of sword and shield speedruns, I noticed that an integral part of ensuring the most efficient use of openings is being able to directly go into a back hop, which is the starting point of some of the biggest damaging combos of this weapon, and having this attack occur instead of a back hop wastes a lot of time. Of course, you can always roll or do the advancing slash first, but these also take valuable time, and easy openings become harder to get as hunts go on. And that's what I can say about the weapon. Despite its shortcomings, I still consider it my favorite. I hope this video is useful or at the very least amusing. If it was, consider subscribing, and as always, have a great time.